Black boxes are great lights for lighting a reef tank when you're on a budget. They have a lot of light output and they're really strong. Now, I just decided to talk today about Mars Aqua black boxes versus generic black boxes. Usually Mars Aqua black boxes are $10 or $20 more than a generic black box. And what I wanted to talk to you about today is why I think the Mars Aqua is worth the extra $10 or $20 versus a generic black box. And I'm just going to start with the front, okay? And as you can see, one front, the LED optics are fogged basically or gridded, and the other isn't. Now, when you're mounting these higher up, which if you're not going to remove the optics is what you would probably do, is it prevents it from the light being as blinding. Because, you know, when you're looking, when the light's high up and it's hitting you in the face, it kind of isn't nice, but that fog LEDs help reduce that, and it also helps reduce the pinpointing effect in a reef tank. And that's the first thing I would like to show you that's better about the Mars Aqua compared to the generic. Now, there is another thing that makes the Mars Aqua great. The next thing about the Mars Aqua versus a generic black box is you could do a daisy chain with it. And I'd say that's really important if you needed to light a reef tank where you need 2 or more black boxes. If you need 1, then it doesn't really matter. But if you need 2 or more, that's really important because now you only need 2 outlets to set up 2, 3, even 4 black boxes. So you don't have to worry about outlets as much. As you can see, in order to turn these on, I have them actually set up in the daisy chain mode, where this LED, the run on the right here, the wires are actually plugged into my Mars Aqua, and the Mars Aqua is plugged into the wall. What this also allows you to do is if you put the lights on a timer, they all turn on and off at the same time because of how the daisy chain works. When you turn on one LED, one sec, it turns on the other. Now, I got this plugged in the wrong way, so the blue should be plugged into the blues, but I have it plugged into the whites. And when you turn it off, they both turn off, which is a great feature, worth the 10 or 20 extra bucks, because now you only need 2 outlets instead of 4. It's the difference in color spectrum. Now, the Mars Aqua is better, I'd say, for a reef tank, while the generic black box, I'd say, would be better for a freshwater tank. Generally, though, freshwater tanks don't need that intense light, unless it's a large tank, but for a saltwater tank, which is what most people buy black boxes for, the Mars Aqua is better. Why? Because of the color spectrum. What I'm going to do is turn on the blue channels for both of these LEDs. And the first thing I'm going to notice is the Mars Aqua appears to have violets in it, while the generic doesn't, and it just has different types of blue LEDs. Now, I'm not sure if you could I don't think you'd be able to pick up the difference. Oh, the camera does pick up the difference. You can see the violets better, which is the purple looking LEDs. Well, this one doesn't appear to have any purple. So that's the first thing. The Mars Aqua appears to have violet LEDs, while the generic ones don't. The next thing I'm going to point out is the white channel for these LEDs. Now, the first thing I'm going to point out about the white channel for these LEDs is that the Mars Aqua actually has blues in their white channel, compared to the generic one, which has no blues in their white channel. Meaning that the white channel isn't going to be close to as white per se. The next thing to notice is that the Mars Aqua has 2 reds, while the generic has 4 reds on each channel. And you could see this as a negative or positive. It really depends on what you like. But personally, I just don't like red LEDs on black boxes, just for the reason is that you could use warm whites to compensate, and reds under optics. It's mainly the fact that you have reds under optics means it creates a pinpoint red spot that's usually visible in the tank. So generally, I just don't like red LEDs on a reef tank or on any tank, because I could just compensate by using warmer whites. And the next thing you're going to notice is that the pattern of the LEDs is different. The Mars Aqua's pattern is more dispersed, I'd say. As you can see, the warm whites are mixed in, while in this one, the warm whites are all on the edges, and then the reds are all on the edges, and then the green is in the middle. While here, the warm whites are more mixed in, the blue goes across, so it's also mixed in, and the reds are mixed in diagonally, somewhat central. So I could imagine that this LED would create warmer corners and the middle would be more white. But considering that they'd be hanged pretty high if you're going to be using optics, you probably won't notice this. So in terms of aspects for a reef tank, the Mars Aqua has better spectrum for a reef tank since it does have a few violets, and while the generic doesn't. I know these need a good clean. I'm planning on cleaning them today, but I really wanted to get this video. And what I want to point out is the difference in quality in the internal parts. As you can see, there's like a nice black lining around to seal off where the LEDs are. While in this, it seems to be a sloppy silicone job. And there's even pieces of silicone on the optic, and you could see around the wires too. While compared to here, it has a nice black seal that's done nicely all around. So even internally, it seems like the Mars Aqua is actually slightly better than the generic brand. Now, is this bad silicone job gonna make a big difference in your LED quality? Not really, but it shows that they put more work into making a better LED. So other than that, they're mostly the same wiring and equipment, but aside from that, it just seems like Mars Aqua is slightly better quality than other generic black boxes that you could buy for cheap. And if you're getting to get a reef tank, I think the extra $10 or $20 for a Mars Aqua is worth it if you're not running one with one of the digital ones where you where they have built-in timers, etc. Those black boxes. If you're not planning on getting one of those, I recommend the Mars Aqua.